All right. What's up, everybody, and welcome back. We've got the classic match for the ages. The underdog in the bottom right side of the map. The man, though, who, whenever I count him out, finds a way to absolutely dominate his opponents. That's right. It is Dark in the bottom right side of the map. He's up against Hero in the bottom left side. It's the KSL 64. That's right. Korean StarCraft League. Tournament number 64. It has been going for a while now, hasn't it? And it is, of course, a fantastic tournament. Best of 5 grand finals. Hero recently has the better of Dark. But the question for me is, can Dark mix in some surprise tactics? And the funny thing is, a surprise tactic for Dark versus Hero is play greedy and play efficient. Already, he starts by sending his drone down just in time to build a 16 hatchery. If he got pylon block, Dark would be in trouble, but he seems to have predicted that Hero wasn't going to try and pylon block him, gets away with the greediest opening. Now let's check what goes on. So what we're going to be seeing from Dark, in my opinion, what I would love to... Wait, what's he... You're not going to go 3 hatchery before pool, are you? Oh, he's just going to start mining the minerals open early, eh? Ah. Gasless 3 hatch? Gasless 3 hatch. He's going to mine this open. He's going to take a 3rd hatchery down here. The next 2 drones are going to help mine that out. And then he can full wall the front if there's a heavier depth pressure. Obviously, this side can get opened up, but then he only has to deal with units coming in from one side. Okay. Dark getting creative. I was talking about Dark should do some surprises. Yeah. He's going to bring these drones down to help mine this. Oh, no, there's a funny thing, guys. Did you guys know these minerals here are actually uneven? It's 10 on this side. And it's 14 on this side. And that means on the right side, Dark has the worst spawn because he only gets 4 less minerals from mining that out. So he literally is at a 4 mineral deficit. If he spawned on the left side of the map, he'd be up 4 minerals right now, times 2. That's 8 mineral disadvantage because the map has a weird mistake that is almost meaningless. But nonetheless, let's see how it goes. Hero hasn't scouted at all. He's playing super greedy. So we've got greed versus greed. Stalker first! Hero not going for a depth pressure. He has no idea about the gasless 3 hatch, and he's letting him get away with it. He's going to go for a quick Stargate, of course, probably for Oracle pressure. If you go Stalker, you're not going to go for a Void Ray, but that's kind of fascinating, guys. Wow. Wait, the Stalker goes out front. Does he not know where the Overlord is? Maybe he's going to look for this Overlord and then come back and deny scouting. Could work out. There are 4 lings on the way. And Dark's going to spread a creep tumor in sort of a central position where it can spread south or it can go north, depending on which way he wants to do it. Probably wants to connect his bases, though. Stalker's going to come in right now. He's going to see if he can get this Overlord. Both players doing very tricky strategies. This is what I love about Dark and Hero. They're both always mixing things up. Nothing ever settles into a rhythm of doing the same thing over and over. Even when standard solid play is working for these guys, they're always going to do something a bit more creative. Overlord sees the Stargate and gets out of there without being spotted. Very nice play. Dark saves the Overlord with the Zerglings, doesn't lose any, and the Stalker does not want to run into that high ground. Still, Hero has no idea that there's no gas. And he needs to run home because at 3 minutes 30, that's when Ling Speed finishes. Hero keeps changing his mind, running forward, running back. What's he doing? This has got to be the most indecisive Stalker movement I've ever seen. Okay, yeah, he figures Ling Speed's coming out, so it's not going to get home, so he recalls it because he has no idea that Ling Speed has not even started. The first gas just went down. Dark is getting away with murder in this opening, ladies and gentlemen. I do like the full wall off here for Hero because he's going to expand to the south. Players are going to be fighting on this south side. You often take a 4th there to get the mineral patches from behind, even though it doesn't give you gas on that 4th base. Having it right next to your 3rd makes it really easy to defend. Overlord comes in from behind. Dark scouting's been on point. Let's see what he can do. He's up in workers, but to really make this build work, Dark needs to not get supply blocked, and I haven't really been monitoring him for that. It seems like these 2 Overlords are perfectly timed, but he's really got to make sure he just pumps out Overlords non-stop and just keeps on droning really hard. He's already on 6 Queens. Are we going to see Ling Speed in the near future? Probably. No Roach Warren yet, though. Interesting to see. I mean, 2 Stalkers and multiple Oracles in a 3rd base. I guess there's nothing for him to worry about. Just more Overlords, more drones is the way to do it. He already queued up drones before getting supply blocked there, which does manage to do that. There. Going down at 445. Roach Warren, Ling Speed. Okay, so Dark's impatient usually. I would say the best strategy here for him is to probably play to Hive and Lurkers. But I have a feeling he's going to try and all-in. I don't know why I have that feeling. It's a sense. He's going to take the 4th base on the gold immediately. Super worth it. Goes for 6 gases. Or 5 gases, I should say. 6th one still not taken. Blink and +1 for Hero. Hero's not going to have a lot of room to blink back on this south of the map. When you're right next to each other like this, I'm not sure if blink is the right way to play. It's decent, but you usually want more room to work, right? To use that mobility and kind of blink your guys back and pick away at him. Good Oracle play there. Does get rid of a bit of the creep. At least slows that creep down, because that creep's going to be on your base in a moment. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if we just see like a Roach Queen shove from Dark. But if he can actually go up to Lurkers, that would be amazing. He's got an Evo Chamber. Dude, if we see a 6th gas, which he should already have... Yeah, no 6 gas. He's going all in. Dark's going all in off 63 drones. It's a Roach circling all in. He's going to wait for Roach speed to hit. He'll go with about 20, 25 Roaches and Ravagers, +1 range. And he's probably not going to wait for +1 range and just a flood of Lings behind it. As I say that, he goes back to droning. So I guess they're just safety Roaches, actually, which is surprising. And a Hydra Den. And his 6th gas goes down. Dark. Very indecisive in terms of what he wants to commit to. He's got such an advantage off his opening. He should not diversify his tech too much. He should really focus on one thing and then lean on Hero with the numbers advantage he's got off this opening. Hero right now is Oracle scouting around. He sees the drone count on that 3rd very low, but that's of course because the drones have migrated to the 4th base. Hero doesn't see those drones, so he might be a bit panicked, wondering where the hell is your economy, but of course I think he realizes now you were just running away from those Oracles. Oracles should definitely revelate here, try and clear this creep if you're going to hang out. Nice move for Hero. Templar Archives goes down, as well as a 7th and 8th gateway. Oh, it's actually, that's only a 5th and 6th gateway on the way. He's only on 4 gates right now. Hydras are on the way. Dark has a massive supply lead. Honestly, I think he could kill him right now. He's got creep far enough forward. The Queens can support to push back the Oracles. I kind of feel like Dark can just go with these first 9 or 10 Hydras and take him out. As long as he doesn't walk into a massive stasis trap, he should be good. Oh, gosh. Oh, good split, good split. He does spot the stasis trap, and he's ready for it. Still no Overseer made. You really want to make Overseers so you can actually spot those if possible. But Dark's going to rely on his eyeballs and just spotting them out, realizing there's a shimmer on the ground. Queen Roach Ling coming forward. Those Lings should be spreading forward to take those stasis traps on the chin. Roach is pushing it back, but not really able to kill anything. Great micro for Hero. The Immortals are coming out. There's already one out. He's making High Templar, which I think he's going to just make High Templar into Archons because he does not have Storm, guys. Stalker's blinking back. Stasis Trap gets just one more Roach. More Stasis Traps going down. These two probably a bit too close to each other. Might get set off by the same unit. Stalker's a bit far forward. Stasis Traps trying to hold him back. High Templar trying to gather energy. Storm has started up. Hero trying to hold back an avalanche of Zerg. The Stasis Trap's doing magic work right now. I've talked a bit over the last week or two about how Stasis Trap is going to be the most raged about unit 6 months from now. Everyone is going to be complaining about Stasis Traps. PvT, ZVT, there's going to be so many of them getting spammed, but especially this matchup, right, where the Oracle's already such a mainstay of it. Oracle's doing really good play here. Roach Hydra trying to fall back. Hero taking a 5th base on this, or 4th base, I should say, is absolute insanity, and it does get cancelled. But Dark's only on 69 workers, and only now does he take an Infestation Pit. One has to wonder, why did we make Hydras here? Like I said, guys, I really feel like Ravager Ling, Roach, with just Queen supporting, could have been enough to break him. But because he's gone Hydras and taken a little bit longer, I'm a bit shocked. But he gets 2 Oracles. Big snipe there for Dark. Very big snipe. He's got a 5th base coming up the top as well. But, you know, it's okay base count-wise, but, like, he's got to do more than this. He's going to try and counterattack around this side. He's kind of running into a bit of a problem with the way this game's going. These Lings not trading very well. He's got some Hydras with him. The Hydras and Lings together could do A-okay. He's going to just distract with those units while the other units have a bypassed Hero, and targeting the Cybercore is the way to go. Cybercore, yeah. Even just killing the gateways is good, but he should split some of these Roaches and Hydras in behind the natural to really put the stress on. Stasis Trap does go there. Stalker's blink to the outside, looking to corner this army. The Roach Hydra split into the natural, trying to pick off some of these workers, but Storm's coming up. He's got to get away before the Storm lands on him. Nicely done. Nexus is going to go down here, though. Look at that move. The Hydras kill the Nexus and an Immortal. Lings and Roaches get cleaned up in the natural. Hero surviving on 3 base. Hero's not out of this, guys. He's got 4 High Templar gathering Storm energy. If he just rebuilds his wall off, leaves a High Templar here and maybe a Sentry or a few Stalkers, he can actually hang on and survive because Dark's economy is not that amazing. He still is ahead, but Dark hasn't built himself an insurmountable advantage, right? His Lurker Den's just started. His Hive's almost finished. High Templar are going to come in with these Stalkers to catch these Hydras, but good turnaround for Dark. I think he trades not as badly as it could have been. Still a good trade for Hero, though. Hero is ahead 1,200 resources and units lost. Dark's going to try and trap him up there and kind of punish him for going in that direction. The Lings are trying to stop him when he blinks, right? They're trying to say, hey, you're going to blink, we're going to block you. But you can see Hero just stutter steps, focuses the Hydras and tries to pull back. Stasis Trap tries to come down. Hydras do take out the Oracle, though. Stasis set off by a single Zergling. Still stuck on 3 base with Hero. But his army, in terms of the High Templar Immortal count, it's growing in high-value units. He's got +2 attack. Frenzy is on the way for Dark. Dark still on 70 workers. Happy to play a lower economy, a higher army count. If he can catch some of these stray units, that's huge freebies there. He's going to try and engage the main army, which I was not expecting, because Storm's going to be very effective. He really needs to respect the Storm right now on an almost all Hydra army. And there are Immortals in the mix, but there is an argument to go more Roaches right now. Queen's Hydras are a bit too clumped. These Hydras need to spread out. They need to spread out. Massive Storms landing. Is it enough for Dark? He doesn't have Frenzy just yet, aka Nanomuscular Swell. The only thing swelling right now is Hero's Storms, but guess what? They're out. The swell recedes. There's only one Psy Storm left to cover him. If Dark can hunt this army down, this fight will all have been worth it. He's got to hunt down a few more of these units. One more Storm! Oh, damn. 2 more Storms even. Dude, energy recharge is one heck of an ability. The drug of Protoss choice right now. If you can surround this, though, Hero's way too far forward with only one Psy Storm covering him right now. Dark's trying to bait that Storm out so he can really engage. Frenzy's away. 70 workers versus 67. Hero on 3 bases. His bases are mining out. His mineral income's going to dip. His main's half mined out. His natural will be half mining out in the next 20 seconds. Going to break these rocks down as Hero to make sure he doesn't get trapped in here. And he's going to blink forward like the mad dog he is. Roach Hydra bypassing around the north. Nanomuscular Swell to get inside the natural as well. Thrusting the Roach Hydra in. Dude, coming on top with the recall is a crazy move. You think Dark's going to run away from that? It's Dark. The man's a savage. Of course he's going to commit to the fight. Says, you recall on top, I'll take the fight. But he does take a big Storm. Hydras try to dodge there. It's a little bit of an awkward fight, but I think it's good enough for Dark. When you're in this situation where the Protoss is down a base, fragile position, you just need to make the game messy, and that's what Dark manages to do there. Hero does go down. I loved Dark's opening. I think that went fantastic for him. What gives me a bit of pause here is the Hydra tech and the droning after building so many Roaches initially. I would have loved to see Dark commit to this attack with just a little bit more pinpoint precision. But then again, with Dark and Hero, they never go pinpoint precision, do they? They always prioritize mind games and making it harder to figure out what the other player is doing. So I think that's probably an unrealistic expectation from me. All right, guys, game 2. Dark in the bottom right at King's Cove. He's sending a drone out. My man wants to hatch block on the biggest rush distance map in the pool. This is like 40-second rush distance. Hero has sent one of his very first probes across to block. Unfortunately for him, Dark's going hatchery first. Block? Because he sent this drone out so early. Oh, yeah, Dark's going to go hatchery first block. Guys, what is hatchery first block even good? I guess this force... Okay, this is the... I'm messing my build up, but it's going to force you to pull probes immediately. Unless you're going to... No, Hero's doing the better response. Just don't pull probes. There's no reason to pull probes. No, don't pull two... No, don't pull probes. The Korean response is so bad here, I think. Don't you guys think... basically just going for 2-gate, because this hatchery is so early, I feel like if you just go 2-gate, it's better. Nah, maybe. I don't know. I think they're both decent options. Scarlet's a big believer in never pulling the probes. She says probes are for mining. That's her 300 IQ logic. And oh, Dark actually snuck the hatchery down. The drone went towards the third, but then the probe ran up, and the drone came back and got the hatchery on the natural, which is really important because that's hard to defend. Nonetheless, his spawning pool is delayed by a solid 26 seconds. This build is pretty good with the cheaper hatcheries, says Heaven. Yeah, I mean, it's really good if you enjoy losing everything to 2 Adepts and an Oracle. Just kidding. He's gonna go reactive cannon rush. I always just build a Zealot or 2 and I literally just go 2-gate Adept Oracle pressure on 1 base, and I'm happy to take my Nexus at like 4.5 minutes, because I figure a 3 hatchery before pool, you're going to struggle so hard to deal with the aggression from the Protoss. It's always a very messy game though, so it's really about how well the players adapt. He builds a pylon right next to the hatchery. Is Dark going to pull drones? I don't think he thinks it's real. Dark's just like, and he's already building a 4th hatchery. He's building another hatchery already. I guess he cancelled this one on the other side. He does see the forge, so he's pulling his drones. Hero is one of the worst cannon rushers of all time, guys. And yeah, what is that? He's so bad at cannon rushing. That's not even funny, Hero. What are you doing? That's so bad. Okay, the drones should still be blocking it, though. What are we doing? Dark, don't just let him place cannons in a corner. Dark, how are you letting this get up? You saw the forge, but because the probe ran away and he cancelled the first one, he thought it was over. But now there's an adept and a zealot in here. Dark, letting him get cannons up in the corner. The Ling's around though. Look at that, he got 2 Lings on the inside of the adept. Beautiful Ling positioning for Dark. Kills the adept. The zealot's going to go down as well. Can he get rid of this cannon? I think he can. He's already got a Zergling hitting it. The drones are going to kill this cannon. There's going to be a queen plus drones plus Zerglings all attacking this cannon. The cannon should not be able to get much damage. He should focus drones. He's got to focus fire the drones, hero. You should kill as many drones as you can. He should cancel that pylon as well. He doesn't cancel the pylon. I don't think that's enough damage. 4 drones seems decent, but there's 3 hatcheries up. It all comes down to this next adept. If he can kill 1 or 2 more drones, he's got a Nexus started behind it. Maybe. Oh man, this kind of reminds me, wasn't there a game, guys, where it was like a really bad cannon rush got shut down and then Dark just lost 14 Zerglings to 2 adepts and then they killed every drone and he just died to 1 base adept? It was like 4 to 6 adepts just killed him, right? I think it was, I think it was on El Dorado, wasn't it? Yeah, it was El Dorado, I'm pretty sure. Adepts taking big damage. Ling's gonna have to pull back. Ling speed's almost done though, so the hero doesn't have that window this time around. Some of the Lings are gonna go to counterattack while these ones are trying to defend. These adepts, there's no way they're gonna commit to that shade, so the Lings are gonna try and hunt them down, but the adepts recalling is very wise, and walling off is kind of... No, there's a probe right there. You gotta wall off now. You didn't use the closest probe. Get in the wall. Hero! Hero Jenkins. The adept does go down, but at least he gets the emergency wall off with the pylon. He's got the adepts chasing these Lings in his main though, which means his gateway is going to go down. His extra gate, cancel. He doesn't cancel the gate, which means he doesn't get a refund. He's losing a lot of resources, and Dark's just droning behind this. This is too much damage, I think. I think this puts Dark so ahead. He gets another probe. He's got hero pinned with a terrible wall off right now. 3 hatcheries pumping, 2 queens? No, only 1 queen injecting. But I think this is still a very good position. The only thing Hero is going for him is he's already got a sentry, which he filled with energy, and he's got +1 almost complete. But he doesn't really have any tech, right? Twilight's just started, doesn't have a robo down. This wall off is absolutely a hero wall. There's a hole there and a hole there. Trying to hunt down the Overlord. He's got to be careful. He's got Force Field ready to guard it, though. He wants that Overlord pretty bad. All right, I like this fight for Hero. 4 more drones and a Roach Horn and a second gas on the way. Dark's Ling still running around, just trying to be annoying, making sure Hero's not counterattacking. You know, Hero's not that far behind on workers. This could actually turn into... Stalkers can't fit through that wall. No, that's... The gateway's meant to go 1 space up. Hero! Why are Hero's wall off so bad? How do you not know? Stalkers cannot move through that. Hero, cancel that gateway and build it up 1 space so it's a proper wall. He literally cannot... I think Adepts can move through that. I'm not sure if Sentries can. I know Adepts and Workers and Zealots can move through that. Stalkers definitely can't. Immortals and Archons definitely can't. Hero... He's such a player of StarCraft. He's getting a blink on 2 base right now. He's like, it's okay as long as Zerglings can walk. He did. Yeah, no. Yeah, he's leaving an Adept in it. But, like, yeah, these Stalkers can't get out. You're going to have to blink across your wall every time. Hero. He doesn't realize, guys. He's literally going to have to... Oh, my lord. Okay, this is crazy. Dark right now is building Roachling. Massling's coming out. Pylon does go down over there as well. Lair starts up for Dark. Evo Chamber and more drones. He's 3 base versus 2 base, so he's got so much momentum. As long as he keeps Hero away from that 3rd base for a little longer, that's just going to make his lead even better. Lings are going to go for this around, and that's huge. Even with the force field trying to help out, he has to recall. Does Hero? Loses a few units, loses the probe, and he gets kept away from taking a 3rd for even longer. Sentries can move through the wall, by the way, which is good to know. Yeah, having to blink across your wall to move in and out is disastrous, especially for a guy like Hero, who is very disorganized in terms of the kind of mechanical techniques that he uses, because he's going to have to always look over here and manually blink across it to move in and out. Ravages and things on the way, 58 drones. Dark has a 4th hatchery coming down as well, which is fantastic. All right. Blink finishes. Hero is finally allowed to move out of his base. Needed to wait for Blink to take a 3rd base, which is crazy. Twitch chat has called them Stalker turrets. If you just leave the Stalkers trapped behind, they're Stalker turrets, apparently. Dark doesn't need to be so aggressive with his Lings. He's got to be careful. Don't throw too many units away. He's adding a few more drones right now. For me, I kind of feel like he could easily have built another 10 workers here. But he's going to keep it within 10 drones, and I think that's fine as well. You know, he's kind of mixing and matching a few drones, a few roaches, a few lings. You get up like 6 Ravagers and just go. Like, if you just morph all these roaches into Ravagers, you can just go kill him. Sentry Stalker ain't going to defend this. Mass Ravagerling will be able to bust through, especially when melee upgrade's done. Baneling speed, Roach speed on the way. I do think Ravagerling Bane's kind of bad on this map because you're rolling up ramps into like Psystorm Force Field. So I don't really like the compositional choice for Dark. On the other hand, hey, if you're going heavy Ravager anyway to deal with the sentries, Ravagerling Bane usually has a very strong timing, and we know Hero's behind, but Hero does have +3 on the way. And he's going to be going Psystorm soon. Immediately goes Gases on the 3rd. That makes a lot of sense. Charge before Storm, I don't agree with, because I think you have to play defensive here as Hero. You literally cannot move out, and he knows this. As much as I make fun of Hero for making some silly decisions sometimes, he should be refilling energy on the sentries so that they're ready to just spam force fields across. And he should also try to probably, I would say, full wall this with like another gateway here or something, or 2 gateways or something like that would be really good. You've also got to be wary because these rocks will get taken down at some point, so you want to have a pylon covering that area where you can wall off that side. Storm does now start up for Hero. Doesn't have any High Templar just yet. And the Mass Ravagerling Bane off 74 workers. Dark did build these drones rather late, so he's not hitting, you know, the most overwhelming timing. But Hero taking a 4th base is going to be an impossibility for a long time. His whole strategy here is survive and hope that you can weather wave after wave of Ravagerling Bane. Storm, 40 seconds out. Ravagerling Bane approaching. Hydroden's on the way behind it for Dark. I don't know why you'd go Hydras after this comp. Hive is a much better transition, as well as a second Evo chamber. Lings are in the 3rd mineral line. Roach Ravager coming in. He's trying to buy all the units rather than the force fields, which is a bit of an odd choice. He also breaks the force field that literally wasn't even blocking the ramp. A little bit of automation there and just kind of clicking on things because why not? But hitting just before Storm finishes. Now Storm comes in. There's just not enough Protoss to defend. Dark realizes he can just lean on Hero. Hero does not have the numbers. A few more force fields could have been really big. If he just did 1, 2, 3 force fields with those 3 sentries on max energy, he could have split this wall off repeatedly. And that's what Hero needed to do. And that's why I was talking earlier about filling up those sentries with energy ahead of time, because the only way he was going to defend was force fields. As soon as the bios land, do another force field wave. And he could have force fielded three times if he had full energy on the sentries, but he was very wasteful with his force fields, waited a bit too long, and it's always going to be hard to defend in that situation. Now, Dark's at 69 army supply. It's a very scary number. Where's that energy recharge? Looks like he does use it, but he uses it a little bit late. You get 2 storms out of energy recharge, not 1. He only uses 1 of them because he wanted to morph those into Archons. Once again, Hero waits way too long to use energy recharge. This is something I've noticed with a lot of top pros over the last month, guys. A lot of them have started using energy recharge reactively really well, like a battery overcharge, but they don't use it ahead of time. Even when they know that they're like in danger of a push coming, they always wait until the push is at their base. And it's one of the big things that I think we're going to see players evolve at over the coming months. And, you know, pro players, pretty new on this patch, they're getting good at using it, but not good enough to really prepare for things. It's a Stalker all in against Mass Roach Hydra. Down 40 army supply. There's no chance. +3 is nice, but you don't have any extra armor or anything. The Immortals and Stalkers get surrounded, and Dark finds himself up 2-0. All right, guys, let's go. We got Dark in the bottom right of the map with one of the weirdest worker splits I've ever seen. He only split 1 worker, and he changed which mineral patch it was going to twice. That was interesting. I haven't seen a pro do that before. And now he's extractor tricking. Ah, hello, Dark. Hero in the top left. Looks like he's going to go pylon into trying to block. That was a 14 pylon. So can you block on this map with 14 pylon? I don't even know if you can block a 16 hatchery on this map with a 14 pylon. But Hero has literally never studied a new map in his life. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's just guessing. Like, will he even get here before 48 seconds? Because normally a 16 hatch goes down in like 46 seconds with the new... So he might have barely been able to block a 16 hatchery, but only barely. Like, Hero. Dude, if Hero didn't have that wall off, chat was pointing out as well, like the Immortals that were trying to defend the 3rd from the high ground. Like, imagine if the Immortals were there, and imagine if he'd force fielded. Like, I actually think Dark's strategy was very defendable. But like, yeah, Hero not showing the normal flare from behind that we sometimes do see. And now he's got it all on the line. Like, he has to step up right now and fight back. We've seen really clever build orders for Dark, But Dark now is once again going for what appears to be a 3-hatchery gasless play. And I gotta tell you, that's not gonna fly. Okay, he's gonna take the gas, but it's 20 seconds late. Oh, this was 15-15, wasn't it? Right. This was a 15 hatch, 15 pool. Never mind. I'm like, why is the gas so late? Okay, that actually makes sense. Hero's worker harass is kind of ruining Dark because he's not counter-microing very effectively. Most of the top pros actually just pull a drone to attack that these days. But because he's not, Dark has been losing a little bit of mining time there. Very nice harassment. Now, Hero doesn't full wall. Okay, so I full wall the right side and always leave the opening on the left because I know I'm going to take that third. The only downside is you can't freely, you know, shade across, come back and defend. Hero wants this to be more of a normal wall off. But one has to wonder, isn't he going to have another opening? It's almost like he hasn't practiced this wall off either. I thought he'd remember this wall off from 6 years ago. You can put the pylon down here, guys. You can put the pylon like there. Full wall on the right, and then you can wall off the left later on with your Stargate or just a second gateway later. I know it's a meme, guys. This is the thing. People always like man, Pig, he's just crapping on Dark the whole time he casts. Guys, no one even know it. When we have Hero, I have 2 players to make fun of for their very obvious mistakes. 2 players. And they're both the best players in the world who make these mistakes. I've said many times, if Hero or Dark had a kind of organizationally minded coach who was a bit more methodical, to add that sort of preparation, organization, and systematic kind of clearing out of these little errors to their naturally intuitive play, because their instincts are so good. Like, these guys have some of the best killer instincts in StarCraft and the best mentalities as well. Very creative players. They like to express themselves. They like to just flow with the game state. I think they'd be both multiple-time world champion. Of course, Dark is a world champion, runner-up 2016, world champ 2019. Hero has never won a world championship. It's a 2-holer, ladies and gentlemen. But he could put a pylon there at least, and the pylon's like mostly protected. Adepts come in and get themselves a creep tumor, which is kind of nice. Forces a second tumor to go down. Oracle comes out. Void Ray finds an Overlord. Void Ray into Oracle's not a bad opening. It is kind of expensive, so it does slow down your third base. Guys, his probe's trying to go build the third, but it's blocked by the hold position Adept, even though there's a second opening in the wall off right there. I get so much joy from watching Hero interact with his wall offs, I swear. It's just a reminder, if you guys ever feel trapped and like you have to do something perfectly to have any success in StarCraft, just watch some more Dark vs. Hero games and remember, no you don't. No you don't. Perfection in StarCraft is a goal that we never ever attain. Depths get another creep tumor, doing a really good job of keeping the creep back, and this is something I've been a lot more focused on the new patch and with the extra energy you get on the Oracles as well. I think it's really nice to keep that creep contained. And the Zerg already has to spend a bit more money on those queens. So as long as you don't ever fly into spore range, like you do often want to come around, like if you can get into the main, you can hold position in Oracle here, kill these drones on gas, that sort of thing, but diving over the spore is not as reliable. There goes down about 450. Rochorn is on the way. Dark's playing very standard, but there are a lot of Adepts coming out. That's going to be 7 Adepts, no glaive. 7 Adepts, 2 Oracles, and a Void Ray. Void Ray is at home. Oracles find themselves a drone. Queens are going to come to defend that, and oh gosh, he goes deep. A little bit dangerous. Oracles luckily have the damage spread across both of them rather than focused, so they do survive without real damage. Evo Chamber goes down. Beautiful play. I like that for Dark. Just buys himself a little bit more time to build some more lings, get his queens to the front. Does have to be wary because those Oracles could scoot in from behind and find some exposed workers, but 9 lings out, 20 more building. Should be an easy defense for Dark as the lings pop. But wait, the drones aren't running. The drones aren't running. The drone's very slow to get out of there. He's already going to lose 2 of those drones. And the lings, it seems like, we're mostly popping in the main and the natural. They need to get on top of these Adepts, but they're not on top of them. Dark leaving himself open. He's not even A-moving right now. What's he doing? His lings are on move command. Dark, why is he not attacking the Adepts? Dark, what the heck? It's like he was following the shade before the shade even went down. A huge mistake for Dark. A disaster. I'm not sure if he lost more Oracles or he's focusing up here. These Oracles did not kill that much. That was a very poor defense by Dark. stunningly bad. He now drops a Spire. It looks like he was trying to sneak this Spire up the whole time, and that's maybe where his focus was, but that was way more damage than he should have taken. He had so many Lings out. He had 30 Lings versus 7 Adepts. Like, he should have just, you know, losing 2 at the third is totally fine. But losing more in the natural and not even killing the Adepts is a big mistake. Blink +1. Space Shark! Space Shark! Space Shark! Look there, guys. Look into the bloody eyes of that shark and behold the glory. It is 5 gateways up. I think he's got a 6th one just morphing now as well. No, 5 gateways. So it's 5 gate blink +1, and double Forge is going to be the play here for Hero. Okay, Stalker Adept's going to come forward, apply some pressure. Dark's recovered his work account, but he's got nothing but Lings and 6 Queens, and that's a huge problem. I think he just dies right now because he doesn't have any Roaches out. He's walled off, which means the Stalkers can come up and just dance. You know, they can trade with the Queens as much as they want to. And Spire's not going to work when you've taken this much damage, I don't think. Lings can come in from behind. The Oracles will just turn that lasers on and easily deal with these Zerglings. Oh, a bit slow to turn the lasers on. And one of the Stalkers, 2 of them actually go down. But so do a lot of Zerglings. Units lost tab 2-1 in favor of Hero. Hero's going to get rid of that Evo Chamber. Trying to make Mutalisks in the face of aggression. Super wild play here for Dark. Dark committing to heavy Muta, and he's going to look to just overwhelm with Ling, Muta, Queen. But he needs to crush this army because, of course, showing the Mutas will give away what he's up to. Even more Lings go down. The Roach Horn and the Evo Chamber have fallen. Adepts are in the main base right now. Lings will surround these ones. 3 drones for those Adepts. Decent trade for Hero, as those Adepts weren't too useful anymore. These Stalkers just need to get out of here, though. He sees the Mutalisks now. He does see the Mutalisks, but he's killing the Queens. The Mutas not ready to fight. The Queens are going down. Muta's trying to engage right now. Stasis Trap freezes up the Zerglings. Muta's trying to fight. Transfuse trying to come down as well. There's not enough Mutas to overwhelm the Stalkers with +1. More than a match. And the Mutalisk count is lowering. But the Lings, actually, the Lings really help out. Mutas and Queens take out the Void Ray. The Lings will defend. Hold on. Hold on. A lot of Mutalisks went down, but the tail end of that fight when those 15-20 Zerglings came in was really good for the Lings. Units lost 10 Mutas for 12 Stalkers. That's still pretty good for Hero. Hero has a 4th base up behind this Dark. He's got his 4th base still alive, but he's down in Workers. That's a big problem. On the other hand, there's no Phoenix. 8 gateways just now coming up. He's building a few cannons, 1 in each mineral line, in case the Mutas do get around him. But Hero's going to try to keep the pressure up on the front so that he can really just keep Dark pinned. He's completely forgotten about the 2nd Forge not making armor. Armor upgrades are the best upgrades against Lings and Mutas. Way better than attack. Attack, you're always overkilling versus Mutas and Zerglings anyway. So a lot of Protoss make the mistake of continuing to go attack upgrades here when the objectively better upgrades are always armor. That goes for Zerg as well. ZVZ versus Mutaling, exact same rule that you guys can apply. Normally you go attack against Zerg, but when you're playing against Ling Muta with high damage, but, you know, low damage but high frequency attacks, armor's amazing. So think about it, guys. A Zergling does 5 damage. You have an armor that takes it down to 4. You've already got a base armor, so taking down to 3. That's a 40% damage reduction if you have +1 armor on your hit points. That's huge. Also, Mutalisk bounces do 9 damage, then 3, then 1. If you knock each of those down by 1 or 0.5 for the final one, it's massive. Stalker's pushing here. Hero just relying on his Blink Micro. Lings are trading well, but they don't have much behind them. Mutas are a pretty bad front-on fighting unit. Builds 2 pylons on the front because he wants to keep warping in. Hero having the numbers. 72 workers versus 65. And as long as he keeps it in this situation where Dark has no room to drone up, Dark is kind of screwed. Dark's on the gases now on the 4th base. He's trying to make a Hydra Den because he's like, God, I need something that could actually fight Stalker's head on. Hero's taking a 5th base. Hero realizes as long as he keeps this sort of fight going, even on creep, he can press forward. 4th hatchery is going to go down. Stalker's trying to warp in. Dark's going to go for the counter attack. He's going to try and make this game a bit messier. Hero realizes, okay, I better recall. He's going to recall a big pack of Stalkers to the natural, and that's going to shut those Mutas down. They take out 2 probes, but he's going to lose a Mutalisk for it. There's also Stalkers coming home. You got to be careful out here. He's going to try and fight, but no, that's too many Stalkers, mate. The Stalker's a bit slow to blink, but there we go. They do go forward, almost grabbing 2 more Mutalisks. Both of them deep in the red. They'll take a while to regen. Mauling Muta comes forward. Dark is stuck on mass Muta-Ling production, but the Mutas have bypassed here. Stalkers and Cannon are there, though. He's going to grab 2 Mutalisks. Really good response by Hero. He's got more Stalkers Elec coming forward. Dark down 8 workers for far too long. He does have a 4th and 5th base coming up. Or there were going to be a 5th and 6th, but his 4th died. So it is a 4th and 5th base replacement. Ling Muta trying to overwhelm. The Zealot's going to trade really well versus these Zerglings and Mutas as well. That is going to be an issue. Shout out to the guy in my comments who for a year now has been posting on every video saying, say verses. Verse is a thing in a song. I'm just going to keep abbreviating it. That's just what I'm going to do. Sorry, guy in the comments. I hope you feel heard. I read your comment. on every video, and I ignore it. GG, well played. Hero fights back and gets a point there. 2-1 in favor of Dark still, but Hero staying alive. All right, Dark. I mean, it all came down to those 11 workers, man. There's 11 workers in that game. Should have only been the 2 that went down. He had a great wall off to delay the Adepts, had so much time to respond, but Dark just slipping up there and making some mistakes. Top right side of Frostline, formerly Snowpiercer. Weibo Gaming's Hero in the bottom left. Not going to go for the block this game. Hero's going to go Gas next. So watch this, guys. Gas goes down. What? Oh, Hero has actually been doing this lately, where he goes Gate Scout. This is so weird. It's the showtime, but he's been doing this more and more. And I mean, I guess part of it's because it's Dark. He might just 12 pull you. You never know what crazy all-in Dark might throw out, but it's just such a conservative opening because you're still committing to the scout. You're still losing mining time going across the map, but you don't get the chance to block the hatchery, which is an issue. Chat says, even versus is technically shorthand. The original Latin is actually versus. Please tell me you're not joking and link that up. If that's not you trolling, and I know you're going to just link a YouTube video to friggin' a Rickroll. I know it's just going to be Rick Astley singing and dancing and looking fly with that red poof hair. Boof is the word I'm looking for, right? Or is it poof when the hair is all like fluffed up? Anyway, I've been actually I love how Rickrollings kind of come back. I guess it never fully went away, but I've been Rickrolled like 3 times in the last year, and I've fully falled for it. You can call it like a quaff. Yeah, I don't know. Dark is the only top player in the world who will let you completely deny one of his efficient mineral patches from mining for a solid 10 seconds. Dark, what the hell, man? And he just doubled up on the less efficient patch when the worker was trying to correct itself on its own. I love it. Dark just does not care about early efficiency at all. His workers are all running around. They're confused. They're not stacked up. And he just doesn't pay any attention to it. 2 queens, 2 zerglings, and Ling speed starts up. We're going to have a good time. Stargate does go down as well. From Middle English versus borrowed from the Latin versus, meaning facing, past particle of vertere. Or verteriere? I'm going to call that vertere. Cool. Makes sense. Adepts on the way as well. Stargate comes in. Queens are going to be injecting. Third hatchery goes down. Pretty solid opening. 4 more Lings on the way to deal with the Adept. Not going to send 2 Lings out. Often Dark does try to run by with Lings, but I notice he hasn't been doing that lately. Now, there was no second chrono on the Adept, guys. So it's just going to be a more defensive opening for Hero, not really forcing too many Zerglings. And that should allow Dark to be a bit greedier on his drones. My question is, does he go 4 queens straight away, or does he just go for the earlier spores? It's actually a Void Ray first. Oh, interesting. Okay, the Overlord's pulled back from the front, seeing that there's no second Adept or anything like that. Void Ray first opens up the possibility for like Tempest openings. Would be the most common. You know what we don't see as much at pro level, but I think because it's obvious, is Glaive Adepts after Void Ray. But that's like the classic build you'd worry about. Guys, is that a 2-space opening there? Or am I crazy? That just looks very wide. I mean, it can't be a 2-space opening, but it just looks very odd. No, yeah, it was. It was. He has to build a pylon to reinforce it. Okay. Very Baneling bustable wall, but that's okay. It is erroneously used in English for against. Probably as the truncation of adverses, according to... Oh, wow. So it's actually... So versus is actually, or at least originally was incorrect. Obviously, language evolves, so now it is just the standard way of doing it. Oh, this is the Void Ray macro build, guys. This is Void Ray first into double Oracle. He's got a quick 4 gas behind this, but he's just going to take a 3rd base. There's no way you go Void Ray 2 Oracles into Carriers or Tempest. That would be crazy. Void Ray finds an Overlord. Ling still running around. He's going to escort the probe to the 3rd. He's just going to go for a slightly delayed 3rd base. And Dark is going to actually mass roach Ling off like 50 workers because he's not going to know what's happening. So this is it, because he's going to go, oh, there's no 3rd base. So Dark's probably going to build a Roach Warren any moment and take a 2nd gas. He's already massing a lot of Zerglings. Dark, because the 3rd isn't down at the normal timing, you delay it by 40 seconds, which is not that long. You have a bit of extra gas banking up, which Hero doesn't have a purpose for, but he's just basically doing his economy in a different order to get an overreaction out of the Zerg. It's like, this really relies on you playing an intelligent opponent. This is a very bad build if you're playing a low IQ opponent, a player who does not respond. Hero gets 2 drones, good start. He's got a few adepts over there as well. He's got Stalkers warping in, and I would expect +1 and Blink to start up. Yeah, he's just going to play a totally standard build from here. Now, Dark is still not building a Roach-Horn, even though he hasn't seen the 3rd, and he has no idea what's happening. He's got 5, 6, 7 Overlords popping all at the same time. He finds the 3rd now with a few Stalkers, and he's realizing, oh, this looks kind of normal. He's going to go for a surround. Gets a surround on one of the Stalkers. Not really worth, though. This is a bad trade, Dark. Don't think this is a good trade with the Void Ray there. He might get a few Stalkers. Depth shading in. Hero gonna catch him. He says, you can't send all of your lings to the other side of the map, mate. This is what happens. All the queens were out of position. Where are his queens? He pulled every queen to the front. That's such a Dark thing to do because Dark keeps all of his queens on one control group. Oh, he's always kept all of his queens on one control group, and he pulled every queen to the front to defend Oracles while attacking with Zerglings. He loses 16, 17, 18 workers. Oh my gosh. And it was bad even if he had a queen in the main and natural, but no queen in the main or natural and no Zerglings is disastrous. 3 adepts kill 18 Zerglings. How many Stalkers did he get? You got 4 Stalkers for 20 Zerglings. That's an okay trade. Believe it or not, Stalkers are that expensive. They cost as much as 7 Zerglings each. But it's not worth it when you leave yourself undefended at home. He's trying to go into Hydraling in a 4th base. I think Dark's macro opening was actually really good up to that point. His macro seemed clean, but now he's stuck on even workers with a Protoss who's going up to 6, 7, 8 gates, going up to Robo, has Blink and +1 finishing, and you're going to have to try and defend with Hydras. I feel like Dark is going to get stuck at about 66 workers just massing Hydraling and trying to survive, while Hero can take a 4th. He can Blink pressure and take a 4th and go Storm all at once. Dark's going to try and go Hive. I don't think he can afford that. He's going 5 base and Infestation. I think he'd be better off going Infestors with his Hydraling off this. I know this sounds silly, but when you're behind, you need a bit of a gamble, and Fungal trapping the Stalkers, maybe getting a good pickoff could be nice. Gets a Stalker, gets himself a Probe there as well. Hero's wall off is jank as all hell, but that's okay. The Probe does help reinforce it. Nice cancel on the hatchery. He's got another 4th hatchery in the top. Losing that's not the end of the world, but he's got to just hang on and survive. And like I said, you're going to be stuck on 66 workers while Hero takes his next step. Not going Storm, though. He's going 2nd Robo Bay against the mass Hydraling. If you go Quick Hive and get Vipers, it hard counters this. You don't need it yet, but I'd say if you start Hive in the next 30 seconds and you get 2 Vipers out, Dark's build hard counters Hero's build. If Hero realizes what's happening with scouting, adds Templar for feedback, it's fine. But if he commits to like a 3 Colossus timing attack, which it looks like he's going to, this is actually really good tech-wise for Dark. Even though economically, Hero's very happy to be sitting on even workers. Stalker's really bad against Hydraling long-term. Or not really bad, but one of the less efficient units you'd want. They're fine if you have Sentry Colossus with them, but Sentry Colossus is going to get wrecked by Vipers. Now, it all comes down to scouting on both sides. If Dark goes straight Vipers, he should have a really good Viper timing. If Hero realizes what's happening, the Hive's on the way, he can go straight Templar Archives. Right now, neither player's scouting, though, in terms of if they were scouting, the Oracles would be going around the back scouting for the Hive, and there would be Overseers coming around the edge and scouting for the tech of Protoss and trying to see things like this Robo Bay. Did Dark with his Zergling see the Robo Bay? He did. He knows it's Colossus, so he should be going straight Hive. He's also got Roach Speed on the way as well, because he wants a tankier front line that doesn't get wrecked by the Colossus as much. It's also cheaper than building Hydras, especially on the gas front. So he should be saving gas right now and going for those Vipers. 4th Nexus is on the way. Dude, I can't believe Dark's still in such a competitive position after losing 21 workers in the early game. Just goes to show the Ling vs Stalker trade actually wasn't as bad as I was making it out to be, but... And his early game macro was good. I also think Hero could have been forward pressuring with Stalkers and trading and actually making this a much better units lost tab. But now Dark's got good worker coverage, 2 Vipers on the way, Frenzy coming in. I don't know if Frenzy's nearly as big of a priority as Lurker range, but I guess he's got money for both, so why the hell not instantly starts it? Dark's on point right now. Now, there is a Templar Archives up, guys, but Hero's just not scouting. He has a timing attack he's been planning for a few minutes. He knows he's got Colossus with range. They wreck Hydraling. He's feeling really good because he doesn't know about those Vipers. If those Vipers wait for 150 energy each and then come across the map, that's going to be amazing. He's going to go with just 2 Vipers, though. What's he doing? What are we... Dark! He's F2ing! I think he's F2ing. One of them may not F2ing, but he's got the Viper on a control group. Stasis Trap comes in. Looks like the Oracle does trade. Stasis is the Queens, but one of the Oracles does go down. Zealots delaying the timing attack of Zerg. The big problem is the Vipers need to be gathering energy. The Vipers have now been spotted, though, by the Zealot in the natural. He should have noticed that. High Templar warping in. Do not make an arc on Hero. Zero just going to man mode him. He might just try to shove through because it's only Hydra Ling. There's no Roaches. He's still putting Hydras. Where are the Roaches? He forgot to build Roaches, guys. He made Roach speed, but he forgot to build Roaches. Dark has to abandon his 4th base again. He's still got the 5th base up top, so that's okay. Oh, he's trying to feedback drop. Okay, he does abduct the Prism, but he's still got 2 abducts, does Dark. But there's 4 Colossus. He needs more than that. He's got Lurkers coming in right now, does Dark. I thought he was going to build Roaches here. That would have helped out a lot. He does have range on these 4 Lurkers, though. He can defend. Dark can survive and stall things out. Hero's going to have to go for Tempests and Storm. He should go Storm as well, but he's a bit starved on gas. This is a 3-base timing. Guys, Hero, it's 10.5 minutes. He still hasn't transferred out of his main. This mined out 2 minutes ago. His natural's going to mine out in a minute. He should have taken these gases a while ago. He still has not transferred these workers. There we go. Oh, big abducts come in, though. Dark with an ambush, grabs 2 of the Colossus while Hero's managing his economy. Units lost tab still in favor of Hero, though. There's still more Colossus to deal with. He's got 1 more abduct. He's going to need to try and defend this base up north, but Hero wedges him. Hero's between him and his economy. Here we go. Another abduct comes down. Great snatch there, but you need to grab the hatchery, and losing this economy is a disaster. Zealots running in. Heroes staying active. Zealots in the natural. Roach Hydra trying to come out. This top base is going to go down, and this is a brilliant move. Hero, you might think, well, he's only been on 3 bases mining. That's not that great. I'd say, yeah, it's not as optimal. He could have secured a 4th base gas mining much earlier, but it doesn't matter because he's a Protoss player. Protoss players are all about building the strength of their army. And you might say, well, he's lost his Colossus. Yeah, but what else has he lost? 1 Prism, 1 Archon, and now he's just adding Storm and double Immortal production. His army's still getting better. He's still growing. The Zerg army, you can add some more Lurkers. You can maybe get 1 more Viper in here. But you can see your economy is so much smaller now, lower on minerals and gas. Stalkers even find some Lurkers. Of course he blinks forward. Hero can't resist blinking forward ever. Gets a Lurker for a Stalker, which is a good trade for him. Stalker's going to pick off some Hydras, or at least try to. Not quite able to get the one-shot lethality there. Lurkers coming forward. If you can get rid of these Robos, that would be instrumental in bringing this comeback around and getting the 3-1 victory in the series. Dark with another abduct on a Colossus. That one goes down. Very, very poor babysitting of these power units. But, oh, the feedbacks on the Vipers is big. Hydras on the other side get caught by the Zealot Archon. Dark doesn't have the numbers to replace this, guys. His income's already very low. He's got Roaches coming in here, but his Lurkers are not being protected. The Lurkers are getting broadsided by the Stalker Frank, the Immortal Archon, cleansing the Roaches. The Guardian Shield is also effective. Psystorm's kicked in. There's Tempest coming out as well. Hero coming out big here in Game 4 to keep himself alive in this series. Dark had such a lead, but 2 games in a row, he has made fundamental mistakes from a good position. He's had good openings, but he's made fundamental mistakes on his harassment defense, and he's lost dozens of workers 2 games in a row, and it's caused him to now find himself dead in the water. And going to a Game 5 from up 2-0, it's a real disaster for Dark. This is the first time in a long time where I've seen Dark not fall behind in the openings. Like, normally Dark just falls behind to the first Adepts, the first Oracles against Hero, and then has to win with big surprises. But this time, he's actually been getting to a really good position, and it's not until like 5-6 minutes, usually about, what, 5 minutes? Then he makes 1 big slip-up. And normally it's like Dark's builds a bit off. His supply blocked, he can't quite keep up in the fundamentals with Hero, because Hero's basics of his builds are just done a bit tighter than him. But this is like a reversal of that story, right? It's a real change in the meta between these two, where Dark's like, I actually have sick openings now. I'm getting ahead, but then he's making a big slip up once ahead, and it just kind of reinforces that story we've seen for a long time of, you know, Dark and Hero do tend to play better StarCraft when they're behind than when they're ahead. They do tend to be a little bit more clutch when everything looks bad for them. When they look ahead, they start to get a little sloppy and a little lazy sometimes in their play. Leave openings for their opponent to make comebacks. Nice Storms come down. Good Frenzy to dodge. Dark's down 50 supply. He's so dead. You might be wondering, why am I not talking? He's down 20 workers, and he has no way of dealing with this army. He's got Mass Hydra. Mass Hydra against Storm Immortal Tempest. I mean, the Tempest outrange. What are you going to do? Close the distance and get Stormed to death? He's going to try and multi-prong, which is smart, but his Hydras are getting hunted down. I mean, even the Zealots can split off and hunt these units down. 5th base does get denied, but Hydras are just getting cleansed. Look at this. They're getting chased everywhere around the map. Even up here, drones trying to evacuate. A few Zealots chasing those Hydras as well. Could warp in a High Templar, storm this army coming up, and stop that in its tracks purely with One High Templar warp and an energy recharge, but he is supply blocked right now on 188, so doesn't have the supply for it. He's going to recall part of his army. How do these guys get home? High Templar are there. Storm energy kicks in. Oh, he does land one Storm. Both High Templar do go down. Immortals on top with the Observers here as well. Surprised he hasn't made Observer movement speed. That's usually pretty popular in the late game against Lurkers, but he might not want those Observers to run in front of his army and get themselves killed since Hero is such an F2 spammer. Hero, though, ties up the series 2-2, and we are going to game 5. All right, guys. We've got Dark in the bottom right side of Whispers of Gold. Forced to game 5, letting this lead slip away. It's time to keep doing these tight openings and just don't make the dumb mistakes. Honestly, don't let the Adepts kill 12 to 20 workers, because that's what's lost him 2 games in a row. They were still pretty competitive games as well, so we do get a bit of a lag spike there. Hopefully that does settle down. Looks like we're going to see a Gate Scout again for Hero. Doesn't want to risk getting 12 pulled. Hero's really started adding in this more conservative opening, and you know, I'd say it's not the greatest, but with how much damage he tends to do with his probe harass against Dark, it probably actually is quite fine. Dark gets away with a normal 16 hatchery opening, and it looks like he's going to go gas pool next. So fascinating to watch these two in action. The games are just so dynamic, and I really like that, you know? I really like that just stylistically, neither of them is looking to just optimize everything. It's prioritizing surprise and variance and creativity. And Hero, of course, you know, he said his real goal is just to make his opponents annoyed, just harass them until they're angry. When he's playing StarCraft, that's what brings him joy. He's like, what sparks joy, you know? He's like, oh, well, if my opponent's angry, I'm happy. And I'm like, dude, I love it. Like, I love it. He knows what makes him happy as a StarCraft player. And I've always said Hero's the kind of guy who will still, even in 2024, throw down a Spite Pylon. So a Spite Pylon is a pylon you build in your opponent's base that doesn't really serve a function other than to annoy your opponent. Like, it's objectively inefficient. So it's like if you're blocking a Terran putting their command center down and then you throw a pylon down, and you know they can just build the command center next to it and then lift it over. And like, it's not going to actually cost them almost anything, not as much as your pylon costs, but it just annoys them. Like, it shows your willingness to not play properly, but just to prioritize disrupting and annoying your opponent. And that's what Hero's all about. Now, Dark, of course, the master of hiding surprise all-ins. I can't believe he hasn't done a Nidus Queen Zergling all-in yet in this series. And it's game 5. I imagine on this map, he can't resist. Like, I reckon we see a lair go up really early and he goes for it. The reason it's a terrible idea is it's so easy for oracles to get around the back into this dead space and scout your early lair. So I would hate for him to make an early lair in the main. If he's going to do it, he should make the lair in the natural. It's a bit easier to stop the oracles from scouting the natural, even though the adepts can usually see that. At that point, you'll have Ling speed up. If we go for a Nidus, please build it in the natural Dark. I've seen him do a lot of very obvious attacks on this map, and the Oracle scouts it so early while harassing the main, and it loses its power. Third hatch forward, big sign of aggression. Doesn't have to be, could just say, you know, maybe he just prefers it. I think this third base is just way better if you're playing a defensive game, though. But that front third base gives you a launching pad, a bit of forward creep to get onto your opponent with a bit more surprise. Void Ray first for Hero. He's going to go hunt down the Overlord. This is, of course, a cleaner wall off. You can just build his gateway there or here and have a very thick, safe choke point. Adept on the front doesn't find any damage yet. It is going to be just 4 Zerglings, so doing a good job of towing the line of Greed is Dark. And I also like that his Overlord coverage isn't too far out because Hero's been doing so many Void Ray openings. He's going to send this Overlord in, and he's like, look, if you go for a Void Ray, I'll just pull these Overlords even further back and make sure I don't give away any freebies. Spore in the main, as well as a queen hanging out up there. Already 2 queens on the natural, and a 4th queen has started. Now, this is where Hero makes a decision. He goes Oracle after the Void Ray, and he's going to move out for a quick third. So this time he doesn't go for the fast gases. It's going to look much more like a normal build. Whoa! Evo Chamber for Dark at 350. Dark wants to play fast melee. Interesting, guys. Very interesting. And because the Void Ray, I guess, isn't as good at defending against that, that can be very powerful. Wow. Second Aura, it's just a Void Ray macro build once again, so yeah, why not? Third Nexus with a nice pylon there. I don't really like the pylon. The pylon should be up a bit further because you'll notice that a Nexus has curved edges, so Lings can actually get a lot of surface area on this Adept. You can attack with 2 from behind and 3 or 4 from the front right now. That pylon's up in the middle of the Nexus. It's a bit safer. So personally, that's my preference. I think this is something Protoss players are really good with in the early days of Legacy of the Void, and these days it feels like only Showtime and Stats are the only players who actually pay attention to details like that. One of the those little tiny details. Baneling Nest. Oh, he wants to go Hydra Ling after just a Ling Bane opening. Not a bad way to play. 7 Adepts. How many is this? 5? 7, yeah. 7 Adept Pressure. Same thing that he did on Abyssal. Lings are pretty good at defending. There's no Spore in the base. He does have 3 Queens nearby, though. Losing 4 drones is not too bad, especially if you get that Oracle. Yeah, that's fine. But he's low on Zerglings, and he just built 13 drones. Okay, the Queens need to follow this. The Queens need to... He needs to build a Spore. The Oracle's going to come back in on that base. You got to be careful. That Oracle's going to come back in on that base. Queens are chasing the Adepts. That Oracle has an open mineral line right now. He splits his Queens, realizing that he's leaving himself wide open. Lings come in. Drones have to run away. He's going to try and fight with the drones, but that main, he needs to run the drones. He needs to run the drones. 2 low on Zerglings. Dark being way too greedy. Trying to build those extra 13, 14 workers was super sloppy. He didn't have any Zerglings active on the other side of the map, and he's paying a big price for it. 10 drones go down. Remember, this is not the end of the world because he was so greedy. The reason why it was so bad on Abyssal Reef to lose 11 drones against this is because on Abyssal Reef, he built 30 Zerglings. This time, he didn't build 30 Zerglings until now, after the pressure happened. So you'll notice his worker count is much higher. This is something you guys, a lot of people don't understand how damage works against Zerg, and this is a good lesson for watching and playing. Whenever you're looking at damage to a Zerg, it's relative. If a Zerg has built a big army and then still takes the damage, like he did in the last 2 games, that can be game-ending. But if the Zerg was very high on workers and they take a bit of damage, it's nowhere near as big because it's a smaller percentage of their economy. So whilst that was bad for Dark, he took damage. It's not as bad as it could have been, and this does not pump him out of this game by any means. He's still in a decent spot. 4th and 5th hatcheries going down. One of them's a macro hatch. He's going to go for the Hydra Den when that lair's done. Charge is on the way, and a bunch more gateways. Oh, Hero's not even taking gases on his 3rd. Hero, is he going to commit to a charge timing? He's got 8-gate charge. Is he going to go 4th base soon? Hydra Ling, Rex charge if you've got the numbers. If you've got a big pack of Hydras and you can just gun them down from afar. But once Storm kicks in, or Colossus, that can obviously turn on its head. So we're going to see, you know, Blink Stalkers are a bit more of a well-rounded unit. Zealots are going to either crush or get crushed a bit harder, depending on how these fights go. +2 melee is already on the way. Now, guys, I've made a big argument about this recently. +1 melee is a great opening. You should always go +1 range instead of +2 melee. We've talked about this a few times. A lot of the Protoss players, top Zerg players, please DM them, harass them. There is no reason to go +2 melee. It no longer one-shots workers, and Hydras are going to become the main part of your army, not Zerglings. So I really stand by the fact that that's the better way to play. Lings, going to take out these Zealots. Oh, just barely overwhelming. But here comes the big Zealot timing. No Hydras, no Banes ready. Hero committing right now. Not enough Zerglings. The Queens need to be tanking. He needs to pull back his Lings and drones and let his Queens do the tanking. Transfusers come down. Banelings going to look for some juicies. Gets in the middle. Oh, he's got to set some of them off. Okay, Queens do survive, but he's already lost 22 drones. He had a Zealot in the natural. Adepts in the main as well. The Adepts killed so many. That's an 11-kill Adept and a 4-kill Adept. The Hydras pop out, but he just wasn't quite ready on the Hydras. Dark was being too greedy, and the Zealot timing with +1 actually catches him off at 7 minutes. It's not even that fast a charge time, about 7.5 minutes, but just cut a tiny bit of economy to get his 8 gates a little bit faster than normal. Hero finds a sliver of an opening, and especially off that earlier Adept damage that he did, it's all he needs. He does so much here. He makes Storm, he makes +2. He's got to pull back, start building Immortals, start making Storm, start adding Archons in. He's going to be good. He's even going to get a hatchery? No way. Can he keep going? He can. He can keep going. Hydra Ling trying to hang out here. The Zealots trying to come over to deal with it. Banelings need to get a big juicy in the middle of those Zealots. But look at that. The Zealots know that. Split single Zealot off like in the Legacy of the Void intro cinematic. Takes the Baneling to the face. Slices and dices. 4th hatch goes down. 3rd base is still up. But there's just no economy. He's got a lot of idle workers as well. Dark taking so much damage to the Adepts in the natural while all that was going on. Whenever you skip a Roach Warren, you're always vulnerable to timing attacks like this. If they get in before you've got that pack of Hydras out, like I was talking. If you have Queens up front with 8 Hydras behind it, you can wreck a timing like that. But because he didn't have the Hydras, didn't have the Banelings, and he sent a lot of Zerglings to counterattack, which I actually think in hindsight was a big mistake, Dark finds himself miles behind in this game. And you know what's funny? His opening was once again pretty decent. Dark is not getting supply blocked. He's moved past the phase, it seems like, in his career where he just gets supply blocked and falls behind in the opening. But it's now dealing with things from a more normal position where Dark seems to be constantly caught just off kilter a little bit. He's down 50 supply. I mean, there's just no way. Not against Storm. Not against a Prism doing an active Storm drop on the Hydras. Dark has to tap out. Really nice timing there for Hero. I got to investigate, guys, as a big old nerd. And we've got to take a look just at Hero's build. How much did Hero cut probes to get this timing going? Is the first question. So first thing I'm going to look at here. Well, actually, first of all, this adept timing. And this really comes down to just one decision Dark made, which made this game so much harder than it needed to be, guys. And it's because this Oracle harass kind of distracted him. So if you watch his view at this point, if he just builds more Zerglings here, he's already going to like 52 workers, which is a great count for this early in the game. He's already significantly ahead of Hero. If he just builds Zerglings right now, he's fine. But watch this. The Oracles come in. He's taking gases. He's thinking about the next step. He has no Zergling vision on the map. Really bad scouting. He's just breaking rocks with his lings. Gets distracted by the Oracles and then holds down the drone key. So this is a mixture of two things. He gets distracted by Hero. Number one, he has bad scouting because he's prioritizing breaking these rocks, which is not important at all. Number two, and he's just being greedy. 12 drones, and then he doesn't notice the adepts until they're literally on creep. And that is such a big mistake. Despite this, it was still a playable position from here. But let's see how much Hero committed. Like, I think he handled this kind of decently. Probably could have pulled the drones a little faster and stuff, but it's always going to be tough here, man. So Hero starts building more gateways. Notice he's pretty much non-stop probe production. Yeah, Hero didn't seem to optimize this timing at all. This was like a zealot pressure. I wouldn't even call this a timing. It's just like, I'm going to see if I can do some damage with +1 and charge. 2 Oracles and a Void Ray. And 3 Oracles, actually, because he already lost one. So this is such a late timing. Non-stop probe production, a Void Ray, 3 Oracles, a battery on the 3rd, and a 7 Adept Pressure. I get the 7 Adept Pressure did damage, but this is not a fast timing at all. Like, this is just such a, I'm just going to see if I can poke. And, like, yeah, he pauses on 60 workers, I guess, for a moment. Like, he doesn't take the gases. He pauses to warp in Zealots, but he doesn't even have a Prism. He just runs across the map with them. And then another 6 drones come in. If Dark stopped on 60 drones, maybe. But he also just needed Banelings. He didn't even realize it was Zealots until now. And he thought, oh, I'm intercepting all the Zealots. And then he sees them here. He's way too late to make Banelings. If he has some Banelings at least, gets all of his Queens together, maybe. But he's only got 5 Queens and just not enough Zerglings. Yeah, I mean, it's a good call for Hero to realize what's happening. Did Hero do this because he saw the Evo Chamber, guys? Hero saw the Evo Chamber really early with his Adepts, didn't he? Yeah, so he goes reactively into +1 in charge rather than blink. Because he's like, oh, you're trying to play, you know, Bailey Nest at the front and +1 melee? You just have to build extra Zerglings to be a bit safer in these sorts of games. You're too vulnerable when you play a Ling Bane opening with no roaches, so... Hats off to Hero for finding the opening. Unfortunate series, these last 3 games for Dark, because I feel like his openings were pretty good every single time. So there's promise, but he's going to have to really evolve his follow-up steps. Because struggling so hard with really basic Adept pressures and just letting Adepts run in while he's attacking on the wrong side of the map with his Zerglings is going to be a bit upsetting for him, but I'm sure he'll rally in the next one. GG, well played to Hero.